Hallo miteinander, I'm Gashady6 and this is, well, it is some game that features Yamame. That is all you need to know. Don't know the exact title, don't care all that much. What matters is that after the last Flash game that I showed off, I decided that you didn't have enough Yamame in your life. You need more Yamame. Everyone does, so I decided to show off this game as well. It's on the same side as always. Now obviously this is a scrolling shooter, but it is a very unique one at that. Yamame is fixed on the left side of the screen. You control her with the up and down arrow keys, and you shoot your webs with the Z key. However, shooting isn't all that simple. What you do is you shoot and hold Z to make your web travel, and when you release the button, your web will expand. Your web will only hit these fairies after you've expanded it, otherwise it'll just travel past them. Now the objective in this game is kill as many fairies as you can, and don't get killed in return. Sounds easy? Trust me, it's not. This is a very tricky game, and the reason for that is because you don't just control Yamame, you also control Kisume. Look at the lower part of the screen, there is a character in a bucket there. That is Yamame's friend Kisume, and the stage 1 mid-boss of Subterranean Animism. Now each fairy that you shoot down as Yamame, you will have to catch with Kisume. If you don't catch these fairies and just let them fall down into the abyss, you take damage, but if you do catch them you will regenerate a little bit of health. So always try to catch these fairies, especially after getting hit a few times. Now I'm not sure if you've ever heard of a Flash game called multitasking, but that is also what this game is, multitasking. It is very difficult because you have to watch a whole lot of things at the same time pretty much. You have to watch Yamame so that she doesn't get hit. You have to watch your web so that you trigger it at the right time and hit the fairies. And you will also have to watch Kisume so that the fairies don't fall down at the bottom of the screen. That can lead to some very bad playing. Well, it looks like bad playing to you, but that is only because you don't know the nature of this game. I don't claim to be really that good at this game, but if you watch it you will see me getting hit in very stupid ways. That's because pretty much I constantly have to switch my concentration between things, and that just overloads my brain. That is pretty much what all this is about, keeping track of so many things on the screen. And as you can see, the game is already getting very frantic. So many fairies, and all are out to kill me. At this point you could just try to not fight these fairies and only concentrate on dodging. You could do that, but this is also a very arcadish game. Your objective is to make many points, and you only do that by fighting these fairies. So if you don't fight these fairies just for the sake of staying alive, you're pretty much admitting that you're terrible at this game, and you don't want that, now do you? Okay, I just died, but we've only been playing for a little while. We can go on for another round, no problem. So as I've just said, this game is very arcadish. It's pretty much a survival game. It's about making many points, and you make points in this game not just by killing these fairies, but by making combos or chains. Every time you hit a fairy, it will fall down. If it touches some other fairy while falling down, it will also knock out that fairy and make it fall. So pretty much if you can hit a bundle of fairies, you will get a higher combo, and higher combos mean more points for each individual fairy. So this is what you want. We just picked up one of these special items. There are special items in this game. Let's talk about those. There's the mushrooms. Sometimes fairies will not just fall down but turn into one of the mushrooms. If you pick up this one, Kisume and her bucket will enlarge. Just like Mario when he gets his shrooms. They make him tougher and stronger, everybody. Winners don't use drugs. A larger Kisume will make catching fairies easier. You will have to pay less attention to her, and that just benefits you in so many ways. Apart from these mushrooms, there's also an orange orb that kind of looks like a Dragon Ball if you ask me. That one regenerates a lot of health, so always try to get these. And the last item that you can find is a stopwatch. Now what the stopwatch does, it freezes time, but not in the way that you might think. It only freezes the fairies that you have hit. It is a little bit of a double-edged sword. You can use it to your advantage, or you can pretty much hurt yourself with it. Any fairy that is you will be able to freeze more fairies, and they will all fall down simultaneously, and that can lead to higher combos. It can also lead to you losing focus on Yamame and pretty much getting hit because of that, so it's always a little bit of a risk. A risk that you may or may not want to take. Now when I'm playing simple arcadish games like these, I'm always thinking about what the story of these games could be. And I guess we're trying to defend the stage 1 of subterranean animism. Would figure, because Yamame and Kisume are the boss and mini-boss of that stage. It also makes sense that you're fighting Reimu as a mini-boss, who's the protagonist of that game. So, but that still doesn't explain why we're fighting fairies. Shouldn't the fairies be on our side? I guess not. But what I do know is that we want them in Kisume's bucket. I'm not sure what Kisume does with them as soon as she has them in her bucket, and I'm not sure if I want to know. Maybe it is a terrible bucket of doom and despair, or maybe it is Kisume's sexy bucket of love. I don't actually know which of these would be worse, but I know that I pity these fairies a lot. So, that's pretty much all I can tell you about this game. I have to admit, I'm not all that good at it. I see that myself. The best I've ever done was get 90,000 and barely make it past the second Reimu. And that's pretty much the best of my ability. But it's still a pretty unique game for its mechanics, and you should try it out. I'm Gesh86, this was A Thing. Bis bald!